So one of the many problems that beginner tutors face is not knowing how to conduct trial lessons or even regular lessons, how to make the lesson outline, what to do throughout the lesson, what would be the lesson objective, and what teacher resources would they need to use. These were the many questions which were going through my mind when I was starting out as a tutor. Like, what was I supposed to teach during the lessons? In today's video, I'll be helping you answer these questions together, which I have got the answer to within my teaching experience here on Preparatory, and I'll be sharing what are some tips and tricks and what can help you to answer these questions. Creating a lesson plan for our students may not be always the easiest thing to do, especially if we don't know the student first. That's why we have the trial lessons, which are the crucial point for you to actually get to know your student better, to know what are their goals and what are they trying to achieve, and why do they need to use this language that they're learning, whether that would be English or other languages. The trial lesson is the crucial key component for you to actually personalize lesson material for them and to actually identify their gaps in the knowledge and what are their goals, whether that would be business English, general English, improving their proficiency level, or preparation for certificates. So in this trial lesson, you are going to ask them crucial points and key questions. I have two ways of conducting my trial lessons. The first way is with a presentation approach. What I do is when we just firstly get to know each other. So when the student joins, I explain. I'm introducing myself, and I also want them to introduce themselves. Tell me where they're from, things like this. And after that, I suggest if I ask them if they like to follow a presentation in the trial lesson, and in this presentation I have the key questions that I've prepared for us to get to know each other better. But if they don't like to follow a presentation, if they like more relaxed conversational style of trial lesson, I mainly just ask the same questions, but I try to actually include that as a part of the conversation rather than just question answer like an interview. It's more of a part of the conversation and just maintain this conversation that you're having. So the questions need to be firstly initial self-assessment. So ask the students about their strengths and weaknesses. After that, you need to ask them learning style, discussion based this conversation. So whether that would be what is the best way that the student learns, whether that would be visually, auditory, etc., something different, and this is essential for creating a lesson plan that would be easier for them to actually understand it and study it better. And you can use this opportunity to actually discuss how they've learned effectively in the past. For example, you can ask them how they have learned in the past, and of course you need to ask them about their experience of learning this particular language. For example, what techniques have they used before, and just what are their goals for this language, and also engagement and motivation. You need to see how motivated they are to actually learn this language, how much engaging they are throughout the trial lesson, and lastly, I think that also you need to set a goal. For example, ask them what is like an achievable goal to actually achieve throughout a certain period of time, maybe like 3 months or maybe even 2 months. What would they like to achieve, and how many lessons would they like to have? I actually ask these near the end of the trial lesson. So when would our next lesson be, or when would they like to have lessons? So what days would they like to have lessons, and how many lessons a month? We are actually discussing this around the end of the trial lesson, and I think that this is better maybe because you're actually reminding them that they need to actually subscribe to you and buy a subscription package. Okay, so after the trial lesson, we've got everything that we actually need for conducting the lesson plan and teaching resources for the students and lesson materials. And now that we know his actual goal and what is the student trying to achieve, we know what can we focus on more within the lessons. And I divide my lesson courses. I make kind of like lesson courses based on whether the student wants to learn or wants to expand or overall improve his proficiency level on general English. Then we have business English for students who actually want to improve their English skills for work purposes or for growing a business or certain things like this. And the third course that I kind of offer is the preparatory levels or the certification preparation classes, whether that would be IELTS, TOEFL, or CA. In general English, when it comes to conducting classes for overall improving the skills of the students, I usually get like a student's book course. Student's book, I prefer the close-up student's books from A1 to C2, and besides this, I also create my original materials based on the lesson objective. Whether, for example, in the close-up, you have a specific material which you can you have units. In certain units, we talk about certain grammar structures. Then we have some kind of reading and use of English with phrasal verbs, with these kinds of materials. We already have kind of like a curricular made, and we can follow this structure. For example, when it comes to explaining grammar structure, I usually besides the explanation given in the student's book, I have my original materials prepared, whether that would be a PDF document or a presentation, and I also rely on the Oxford's grammar course book. I have the elementary, the intermediate, and the advanced books of that from the Oxford students' books for certain vocabulary practices, because in close-up books you also have this kind of like use of English exercises with phrasal verbs. I mainly just make my own worksheets with explanation of these phrasal verbs, and also kind of make interesting games, because I am really passionate about making these fun activities for our lessons. I wouldn't want my lessons to be boring, so I make kind of like crossword games, hangman. I have a variety of different techniques which I use based on how interested the students are with using these actually games. For business English, I mainly use my own materials which I make. I usually follow the PPP lesson structures. The PPP technique stands for I forgot the actual meaning of this, but I'm going to put it on the screen just so you know. And always the first exercise doesn't start with P but with W. So W is for warm-up activities. We usually have I usually put discussion topics. Warm-up exercises just for discussion based on whatever we're going to be talking about. So if it's like respected work, I usually have have you ever had this respect is all about this and this, and the student can actually agree or disagree with this certain statement that I've put there. Second exercise usually consists of the key vocabulary that we're going to have throughout the lesson, because the third exercise is the article. So we're usually reading an article, and after reading the article, we're watching a video based related to the topic of the lesson. And after watching the video, I usually have kind of like a role play exercise, or maybe some kind of quizzes. We end the lesson with a similar exercise like the warm-up exercise, like hypothetical situations or some questions, discussion topics that we can discuss about near the end of the lesson. And lastly, we have the preparatory levels, preparation for IELTS, TOEFL, CAE, FCE, etc. By now, I have actually taught many students, like I think 2 to 3 for IELTS, 1 student for CAE, and 1 student for FCE. So what I usually do in those classes is, first of all, I always start the lesson with conversation with them, first 10 minutes, and then after that I introduce today's topic. I usually have these kind of books with sample tests. You can find them very easily on whether it will be on the official websites of when we usually do these exercises based on this book or materials from the official website. But whenever I identify a certain gap in their knowledge, whether that would be in a certain part like writing skills or something like speaking skills, I usually would like to focus more in the next class within that actual skill to actually improve this. The usual homeworks that I give to any of my students is actually writing homework, writing tasks. They are mainly linked with the lesson objective. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that this video would help somebody out there, some aspiring and beginner tutors, and I'm wishing you very good teaching journey, and thank you very much for watching this video. If this video was very helpful, please don't forget to like it or even subscribe to me. Let's support each other and have fun while teaching. Bye.